My brothers and sisters in Christ, in today's gospel, we hear the words that we heard on just a week and a half ago on the 15th Sunday of Ordinary Time, the parable of the sower, the idea of the seed that is sown and yet not all of it bears fruit. Some of it is choked out. And one of the main things that Jesus points to in the parable is that it can be choked out by the anxieties of the world. And in this light, I find often one of the not only biggest threats against fruitfulness, but also one of the easiest and most powerful antidotes in the spiritual life is intentional gratitude. The reflecting on the great goodness of God in ways that seem both big and small to us. When we focus on gratitude, it is difficult to hold on to resentment, to other anxieties. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we see the way in which God has been good to us. And it also reminds us that His providence is always with us. It dispels the illusion that we're hung out to dry, that we're drowning out on our own, but we're reminded that God really is for us and with us at all times. And this is powerfully illustrated by our first reading today. Because of the Feast of St. James yesterday, we skipped over the normal daily reading in the lectionary. Yesterday, on the Tuesday of the 16th week of Ordinary Time, as usual, the powerful account of the Red Sea itself. As Moses splits the sea and the people of Israel cross through, the Egyptians follow and then are drowned. And so this is one of the most powerful episodes of God's intervention in all of the scriptures. As an entire people are set free from slavery, cross in this miraculous way, God parts nature itself to let them pass through and literally smites their enemies that would seek to do them harm. An entire nation is rescued in a powerful way that can't be explained in any way by human events. If there's any question of people that sometimes, was that really God or is there another explanation? As I say, nothing splits the sea in two, lets one people through and the other side not. No, God's mighty hand with them in this account. But then we hear, today's episode picks up right after, because that's in Exodus chapter 14, and the entirety of chapter 15 is the song of Miriam as they've witnessed a spectacle. It's a song of praise of God's great goodness. So as chapter 16 picks up in today's first reading, we hear that after the events at the Red Sea, they travel 3 days, and as they're hungry and thirsty, they immediately begin to complain and cry out to God that they're going to die. This seems ridiculous, and it is ridiculous, for in any way to question whether God is supporting His people after what they've just seen. And it takes all of 3 days for them to forget. And in fact, we know this will be a pattern throughout all of the Old Testament, is the forgetting of the people of Israel. They forget the covenant, they forget that God is with them, and they stray constantly. And in fact, it's true for us as well, that we get this spiritual amnesia by which we become so self-focused that all we see is what inconveniences us in the moment or what we lack now, and we forget the gift of our life and all of the powerful ways in which God has provided for us. And all we see in the moment is how sorry our lot is, and we complain and we cry out and we get anxious. But when we turn to intentional gratitude, and we can do this in the simplest ways on a daily basis, and it's most powerful at the end of the day, just a simple prayer to look back on the day and to acknowledge where God has been with us, the powerful gifts, both big and small, and to express praise while asking our needs for the next day. This is a powerful way to pray and to offer to God our anxieties and our needs while holding in front of our faces the way in which God has been with us throughout the present day. And when we cultivate this simple habit of daily intentional gratitude, then we will never feel alone. We will know that He is with us, and we will not feel the need to complain or grasp for ourselves. My brothers and sisters in Christ, let us give thanks to God, for He is good. May God bless you all.